Welcome, level uppers! Holy crap, there's a big face down there.
That's a big face.
Distracting me, ruining the intro. God darn it. Welcome, level uppers, to It Only Does PlayStation, episode 10.
Wow.
This is the Level Up Network's dedicated PlayStation talk show on once every month. This is kind of a big deal, right? Episode
Double
10.
digits!
Yeah, I feel like that's a big deal.
It
I
is.
think we graduated from kindergarten to elementary school.
Do we do a one-year anniversary, or is that just dumb, since it would be like episode 12?
100th episode anniversary.
Yeah, right.
We'll be like 93.
I know. It's funny because I was looking at...
How many years is that?
It's a while. It's like 8 years. It's over 8 years. So I was looking at our Google Drive today. You know how we do outlines for everything? And I do the outlines as episode 01, episode 02. That way it stays in numerical order even after I get into double digits. And I was thinking today, oh, damn, it's going to be so annoying when we get into the 100s because then I'm going to have to add a 0 to the front of every episode. And then I was like, wait a second. We will be 8 years into this show before I hit episode 100. I think I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I hope we're here in 8 years, but...
Me too.
That would be super cool. That would be super cool.
We are pretty cool. I don't know if you know.
Cool.
Yeah. We have Split Maniac in the room. We also have Mr. Rager GFN, Italian Mob. I think we also have, let's see here, we have Dragon Con.
Welcome. Share the
Verulia, Sinful, GFN.
Split Maniac says this is his first episode of the show.
Oh, wow, that's awesome, man. It's nice to have you here, Bryce.
Welcome. We talk about Xbox.
No, we do not.
Oh, I mean...
that is blasphemy on this show,
We talk
Greg.
about the Nintendo NX.
No, get out of here. Get out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep messing them up. We talk about distinctly and only the years that the GameCube was popular.
I'm just going to let you keep going until you run out.
Are you done yet?
Are you done yet?
This is
We
it
talk
only
about the
does
Neo Geo Pocket.
This is it only does Atari.
Yes, guys, this is our PlayStation dedicated talk show. And if you like us at any point, make sure to follow the show. Hit that heart button at twitch.tv/the Level Up Show. We will shout you out. You'll get notifications whenever we go live, which is super important. Let's put the comments up on the screen.
It's kind of important, I feel like, when we go live. I want that notification. Can I get that notification?
You can, Greg. You just need to follow us.
Oh, that's weird. I think I subscribed to us.
Yes, you are subscribed to us.
Oh.
I always find that funny that you're just taking money.
I want the +1 badge.
Okay.
It's $5. That's totally worth it to me.
Oh, what just happened?
I don't know. You broke the show.
We lost the video feed for both of you guys. You guys disappeared.
I have full service.
It'll probably come back. You guys are coming back now.
That's weird.
Am I good now?
It's just taking a second for you guys to come back. You guys will in a moment, I'm sure. Dustin is here, and he said, I sent out a tweet that was a meme of Joe Dirt, and David Spade liked it. Made my day. That is super cool when you tweet
really
something and who you consider to be a celebrity likes it. That was what happened to us the other day with Days Gone. We didn't even, try to egg this thing on. It's just that the lead director over at Ben Studios tweeted our reaction video out saying that it was his favorite. And we were like, holy shit, this guy just found it on his own and tweeted it out there. That was just crazy.
I love those. What do you think is your favorite tweet that you've interacted with?
Not yet. Probably the 20th anniversary PlayStation that got retweeted by Shuhei Yoshida and like 10 people from Sony Santa Monica. That was the coolest. What about you, Greg?
That didn't go any further.
What about you on a personal level?
On a personal level?
Yeah, have you ever reached out to a celebrity just as Drew?
No.
Mike,
No, I haven't.
Have you ever?
When I went to Boston last week, I tweeted that thing about I have 2 seats. I have an open seat next to me or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, who do they think I am? Kevin Smith. And then he liked it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, a like is cool. A reply is super cool.
That's what's better. But I don't tweet often.
Right.
I don't do the Twitter sphere.
My favorite was Yvette Nicole Brown. I tweeted at her and I said, "You are the bestest in the world." She's the black woman from Community, the black woman from Drake and Josh. She played the manager in the hotel.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She's
cool.
She's awesome.
She's cool.
Such a sweet woman, and I loved her. She was on The Talking Dead a lot. And every time she came on, she made me cry. So I just tweeted to her. I was like, "Oh, you're pretty amazing. I just want to let you know you brighten up my day on anything that you're featured on." And she's like, "Oh my God, you're #the bestest," and I cried.
Aw, that's super nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
All right, I should probably go through the whole spiel, as we call it, Spiel Druckmann.
Schleven Gloven.
Spiel Druckmann. So everybody, please, as I'm saying, follow us on Twitch. But otherwise, look at all the other channels that we have across the top of the screen. You got Twitter at the Level Up Network, level spelled LVL. Follow us there, tweet at us. We're very active on Twitter. You got YouTube at youtube.com/the Level Up Network. We've hit a huge resurgence. We've had 900 subs in the last week alone on our YouTube, thanks to all those E3 videos, and more content to come. Like we were just saying earlier, Mike will have his Game of Show video up tomorrow. Check out the other ones that have gone up already. Subscribe, like, comment. We would love that. Otherwise, Patreon is a great way to support us. Go to patreon.com/the Level Up Network if you want to do monthly donations, or if you'd rather do singular donations. We're really pushing that right now. Just look at the donation goal at the bottom of the screen. We're trying to get to $1,500. We're now at $1,260 thanks to Average Psych, who donated $100 this past Sunday. Super cool.
That's amazing.
Awesome. Guys, we're really close. I think by the end of the summer we'll be able to get this PC going. So
I think so too. I really think so.
September, I think we'll get it set. That's going to be awesome. You know what I was thinking about too? Not only will it improve the show quality, that's going to be front foremost right there in everybody's faces, but we'll also be able. I think we'll be able to do a little bit more like PC stuff. Maybe some PC streams here and there. This is going to be really big for us. And
it opens up. Yeah, it opens up a lot of opportunities. I just really want to buy Extra Life because I do feel that we could do a much cooler thing with Extra Life this year if we have this.
There's a few ideas I was having. I've been thinking about that. Some of that we've talked about a little bit, but it's going to be very big between that and as well as our anniversary show.
Right.
When we do a lot of the big stuff, I think it's going to open up a lot of channels. Maybe I'll be able to use that soundboard now a little bit more often because I think it'll be able to handle it. So
two things I need to say, Michael. One. My video cut itself out when we disconnected, so if you click the video button on your Skype, I think that's what's up. Oh, you did already?
I did that, and it's not. I guess for some reason it's not connecting to Drew.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
And the second thing I want to say is thank you to the 13 people in the room. Be sure to share the show because we are only 42 follows, I believe, or no, 52 follows. We're 52 follows away from 8,000 followers on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And YouTube is blown up. So thank you guys. Anybody new in here that's followed our YouTube and subbed to our YouTube. That's awesome. Thank you. And make sure you're herding people like cattle to our YouTube to make it blow up even quicker.
To finish up Spiel Druckmann, go to levelupnetwork.com/donate if you do want to donate a singular donation, help us towards that PC. Also, I heard on our YouTube this week that we should be pushing our SoundCloud more because there was a guy who said, I listen to your podcast every week. You should push
that.
And I was like, oh, wow, I didn't realize people actually listen to our podcast.
I'm glad they do.
Go to soundcloud.com/the Level Up Network. It's as simple as that. And follow us there because we try to put up most podcasts. I need to catch up on the last couple episodes, but they'll go up there pretty soon. And lastly, the final thing is that we have a new NeoGAF topic, official NeoGAF topic, over there at neogaf.com. It's probably the best gaming forum on the interwebs. So if you are a member there, you should definitely check that out. Just go to the link that I'm about to provide in the chat. And if you're not a member there, you should certainly try and sign up because, as I said, it's a super great site. All of the industry professionals are on there, and you hear a lot of interesting insider information. So I would recommend it. And thank you to NetGuy, who was the one who put that topic together for us. Going to say that once again.
Shout out to Bradley, who's in the room now. Happy birthday to you, you British bastard.
Happy birthday, Brad. Yes, that is the end of Spiel Druckmann. So we're going to move on to the official.
That was a good Spiel Druckmann.
That was a good Spiel Druckmann. Official part of the show.
I'm going to hang up real quick and call right back, actually. Maybe that will help.
Okay.
Well, I mean, my video's not there, is it?
No, it's still not. Let me hang up on you and call you back.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I think that's best.
Just because I want to make sure you show up in the same location.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on one sec. Let's try.
Come now, ladies. Now let's get information.
Calling Mike back.
We're calling Mike back.
And there he is. Look at that guy. He's
my
back.
God, he's beautiful.
Welcome back, Mike. All right, so guys, if you didn't know, It Only Does PlayStation is typically 4 PlayStation dedicated topics, but we only have 3 members this week, so it will be 3 PlayStation dedicated topics, also mixed in with some mail time questions from our viewers, if you guys submitted those on our Twitter at the Level Up Network, level spelled LVL. Now, it's E3 still, in a way. We're still coming off of that. So we decided we were going to do an E3 2016 special and focus each of us on one game from the PlayStation conference that we really want to talk about as a group. So let's get into the topic number 1, which would be me, because I make this show.
Do you?
I do. So, I want to talk about God of War.
Yeah.
Shocker.
As you guys saw on my YouTube,
What was it,
probably.
your game of show?
It was my game of show.
Oh, that's weird.
I was blown away by the God of War demonstration. First of all, the orchestral score done by Bear McCreary just started all off. The woman doing the like that weird.
Girl, that dirty bitch went hard.
She went all out, man. All that stuff was just great, and I'm so on board with this new direction. I love the third person, but close up over the shoulder. A little bit more of a Last of Us feeling, which some people are getting on it about, but I think it's a cool evolution of this franchise. Yeah. And then, of course, to bring the boy into it, the son, maybe. We're thinking it's probably his son, but we don't know who the son is. So that's the kind of stuff I want to talk about right now. I want to speculate with you guys on what is going on here. What happened from the end of God of War 3 to now? Like, how did he survive? Like, how many years later is this? Greg, you're a huge God of War fan. What happened?
I love God of War. So here's what happened. All right. So as we all know, Kratos has distant family members that we keep finding out about that he's fucked up his whole family relationship with.
Right.
And he's had sex with a lot of people.
He has.
Especially if you have the option to have sex with people, you'll know that he bangs like 4 prostitutes at once, which is kind of exciting. So it really could be any of the prostitutes' children that he's been having sex with. The son aspect to me, I think, is almost a replacement because I think the best story in God of War that was ever told so far was God of War Chains of Olympus. It was the first on the PSP series, and that was with his daughter Calliope and how he was trying to figure out whether...
Calliope!
Yeah, one of his most famous quotes, too. But I think that was the best relationship story-wise in the game. Just because it was finally dealing with Kratos as a person and not just this Calliope-esque guy who has one tone, he hits that tone all the time, and that's all he is. What's nice about this is that you see the resemblance of Kratos and everything that he once was, because this is the same Kratos.
It is, yeah.
But you see that like he's emotionally scarred, he's emotionally damaged, and he's still that condescending asshole that we all love. But he's starting to warm up, I think, a bit to whoever this boy is, whether it's his actual son, whether it's someone he's taken on.
At the very end of the demo, he almost puts his hand on his shoulder.
Yeah, almost in that bonding moment where I'm like, fuck, dude, like he has a heart underneath his family's dead ashes that are on his body.
Yeah, and to those who are wondering, how do you know this is like the true Kratos from the old games? First of all, they've come out and said it. Yeah. But second of all, you didn't even need that. If you look at his character model, he's got the scar on his chest from where Zeus stabbed him through. He's got the scars of the chains.
He has the red Spartan tattoo still.
Yes, he's got the Omega symbol on his cloth on his back. And when they go into the shed at the beginning of the video, you even see Hermes' boots on the ground.
Yeah.
This is very clearly Kratos. Nothing has changed here. It's just been a long time. Now, Greg, you're saying that you think that he knocked up somebody and this kid is truly his. You think the boy is his?
I think the boy is his, and I think he is deceiving him, and I think there's going to be a plot twist in the game where the boy is a significant role in Norse mythology.
Okay. Now, you bring that up, so I'm going to go to a little site called NorseMythology.org.
Okay.
Now, let's look here at a certain god named Uller. Now, let's read a little bit here. Uller, often anglicized as Ul and often occasionally referred to as Ulin, is an obscure and enigmatic Norse god. Now, let's go a little further. Uller is the son of the grain goddess Sif and therefore the stepson of the thunder god Thor, which is kind of a connection there because he does have lightning powers, even though he would be a stepson if this was Uller. Now, he's supposed to be handsome. He's supposed to be that he traveled across the ocean, all this kind of stuff. But now, let's go a little further. Let's look at the grain goddess Sif, who is supposed to be his mom. And now this is where it gets super interesting. Virtually the only thing we know about her is that she is the wife of the storm god Thor. Her name seems to mean relation by marriage. There are 2 references to Sif that say anything more than this. She is said to be the mother of the similarly obscure god Uller, whose unknown father is apparently someone other than Thor.
Ooh.
So here
Kratos.
we go. Is Kratos the unknown father? Is this boy the stepson of Thor? Is Sif, who is a hunter, by the way, it says that she's a hunter.
Did your mom teach you how to hunt?
Yes. So what do we think, guys? Do we think this is possible, that Sif is the mother and Uller is the son?
I would be okay with that. I definitely think that the son has significance, whether or not Kratos is blood related to him. I think the son, either Kratos is deceiving him because he's trying to hurt either Thor or Sif or whoever else. Right. Kratos has an intention with this boy, but the one part that gets to me about him and the one part that makes me think personally that it's his blood-related son is that little hand grab at the end, where he goes with the boy, they have to kill the deer, and then Kratos goes with the hand and he's like, ugh. And then he like kind of like shrugs it off, and I'm like, no, like, you can love people, I know you can, like, just let let me love you. That's all I want.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. I'm sure, Drew, you're going to bring it up too. Like the whole thing about the troll trying to, or the giant trying to tell the boy something, and he says, "No, wait." Yeah,
there's nothing really to go off of more than just the tone in the troll's voice. It's as simple as that. Like, it makes sense that the troll would be trying to tell the boy to stop, right?
Yeah.
Don't shoot. But it's the way that he says it. He kind of like has this desperate, like, no, don't stop. Like, it's not like a don't do this. Like, I'm gonna kill you. It's like that's not malevolent. It's not
almost
malicious.
Like he's pleading. Like it's almost as if, and it's weird is that it comes out of nowhere to attack Kratos, for almost no reason. And
okay.
What?
Why did you say Kratos?
Oh, that's apparently what his new name is.
Okay.
But
like he does know we're on a PlayStation podcast, right?
No, I know it's Kratos. But no, he comes to attack him out of nowhere, and I mean that's not outside of the realm for these types of games for God of War. But why? There's almost no reason as to why. We have no idea what it would be. So.
Yeah. Now, what are you expecting from the world? I mean, do you guys know Norse mythology at all?
I'm expecting. I think there's going to be a lot more to this game than what we saw in the demo. I don't think it's going to be as linear as people are thinking. And I think it might be even more in the vein of sandboxy, kind of like. From
what we hear, from what they said, it's supposed to be a little like Tomb Raider. How it's like open, but not like.
I picture it like Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Right.
Whereas like
it's even more open than
especially because Norse mythology has the Viking ships as well. So I think they could totally bring that into the mythology and give Kratos his own ship, especially since he doesn't have wings or anything. So how is he going to be getting back and forth? They can make that like a fast travel mechanic. You can also give him his own crew and stuff, which I think would be really, really fun and really cool.
What if he grabs Thor's hammer and uses that to get around?
If they're going to tackle Thor, I think Thor is going to be the big bad.
Pause your lives.
What happened?
We got a donation.
From the Miss
Mel. From the Miss Mel donated $10.
Hello, please.
Awesome.
I love how she comes in with that. Hello, please. I love it. I'm going to give you 250 XP, Mel. You are amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you so much
Big
for the donation.
giant taco to you.
Also, big ups to her Instagram, because, girly, you look so good lately. Her selfie game is on fleek.
I didn't know she had an Instagram.
Oh, my God. Her Instagram is literally her
Diddy has
beautiful
Instagram?
bitch.
How did I not know that Diddy had an Instagram?
Mel's Instagram is beautiful.
All right, so going back to God of War and
sorry.
more about this world, let's go to NeoGAF, where we have an official topic, by the way. And let's look at some of the posts that people have been they've been doing some digging. They've been looking at this gameplay demonstration. They've been trying to find little things that would maybe give hints at the world. Now, first up, we have. I think a lot of people saw this.
Daenerys Targaryen's making an appearance.
I didn't hear that, but that would be super cool.
Did I
know? Now, one of the first things that most people did see is this fairy. Might be a Valkyrie.
Yes.
And the leaked artwork from God of War did show that you go to the fairy world. So I think it's probably a fairy.
Yeah, I would imagine. It makes sense.
What's really creeping a lot of people out is this weird demonic
shadowy
figure
demonic
here.
Yeah.
Let me put it up full screen because it's a little hard to see on the small screen there. If you guys can see that weird demonic-y figure on the upper left there, just staring at Kratos. Some people are theorizing that this character might be a sort of Resident Evil wanna buy something type character, where you use your XP gained, or merchant. Maybe she's a merchant that you just go to. I think that would be.
I hope it's the same guy that voiced the merchant, because that would make me fucking so happy.
It would be awesome.
That's an Easter egg. They take place in the same universe.
Now this is one of the coolest things. This nobody picked up on really when it first went live, but it took a few days. But this here, where the red circle is around, is a gigantic, enormous snake. Let's put it up on the big screen so you can see in the smaller GIF there.
It's like from that film Anacondas.
Look at that. You can actually see over the carcass of the deer this scaly, enormous snake. People thought it was a river. No, that is not a river. That is a snake. Maybe it's the Midgar serpent that you see right there. That's a possibility. Another cool thing that I didn't realize when I was watching is that there's a freaking direwolf in the video.
What?
Yeah, there's a direwolf in the video.
Where is that?
Let me see if let me put back up the video, and I already passed it. Damn, I already passed it. Because Kratos is running, and the direwolf is in the distance, and it spooks and just runs off really quickly.
Wow.
But it looks awesome.
That's amazing.
Now,
not Ghost.
Not near as big as the direwolf that we saw in the artwork there, but I wonder if you would fight this direwolf.
I don't want to fight a direwolf. I love direwolves. That would make me sad.
Now, did you Did you see about I didn't realize, and I knew that there was a creature for this and a dragon at first, and I couldn't remember the name, but a lot of people are theorizing, and I thought right away Fenrir for the dragon thing in the distance.
That's totally a possibility. Yeah.
It can be. I don't want to hurt dragons either, though.
It's not a dragon. It's a beast, and I don't
Yeah.
think that you're gonna hurt it. I think I'm gonna bet you anything that you befriend it.
That would be awesome.
I'm gonna try and look up.
What I
saw
wanted to
something
ask
pretty
you guys
cool.
about the game too is, do we think the sun's going to be with you the entirety of the game?
Yeah,
That's what they said. They came out and said
There's a
that
sun button.
it will be with you throughout he will be with you throughout the entire game. Now, here's the thing though, they could be lying.
Yeah,
They don't,
that's what I'm thinking.
they don't need to tell the truth. Like
I
they
see
can
it more like the Pandora section of God of War 3 is how I feel like he'll be there for like exclusive instances, and then when you need to separate from him, you'll separate from him.
right.
Especially because there's going to be some battles where I just feel like it just doesn't make sense for him to be there. It's
Like,
not
I can
like an Ellie and Joel situation where you could just be like, oh, like we're taking cover here, and Ellie runs up next to you and like takes cover behind a bag of like sand. Like this is like some giant ass motherfucking dragon's about to come up and breathe fire, and then your little boy
Right.
is going to get breathed on with fire. Like no, that doesn't make sense.
Now that's a good example of a situation where the developer just flat out lied. The
Yeah.
Last of Us. They said in The
Yeah.
Last of Us, before it began, that you would not flat out not play as Ellie.
Yep.
And of course, spoiler alert, that was a complete lie.
Yep.
Another example is Twisted Metal. David Jaffe flat out said, "No, I am not working on Twisted Metal." 3
then
months
it-
later,
yeah.
revealed at E3.
Was it even that long? I think it was like the next week.
Probably not even that long. That's the thing is, I think it's okay for the purpose of keeping suspense, keeping secrets. Like lie, I'm okay with it. Lie to us.
I
I just
don't
keep.
care.
I want to be surprised.
I'm not
You
like
know,
hurt. I'm not like butthurt by their lies because at the end of the day, like most of the time when they do lie to us about something, it's because it's the best surprise ever.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like playing as Ellie, that was fucking amazing. Never saw it coming, and like to have that experience be totally kept secret was so incredible.
To me, honestly, I see it as two things. And I don't see you controlling the sun the entire. I mean, they did say it. That's what I'm going off of. But if it isn't, you're either going to continue as Kratos, or you're going to continue as the sun. Something happens to you as Kratos,
Like
and you
Red
have
Dead
to,
style.
Well, not Red Dead style. The end of Red Dead, yeah, something like that. Something happens to Kratos, maybe you're just captured or something like that, and you're learning all the things, and that's why, one of the things that we pointed out when we first saw the trailer was, tracking learned or something like that. Like,
Right.
you were earning XP for things that you already as Kratos knew, so it was almost like you're teaching someone else. Or the less likely to me is that Kratos, like the sun, will grow up into being this Norse god that's against Kratos because of what Kratos can do, and you'll have to fight all the other gods or something like that. I'm not sure exactly, but
I would love it like kind of like a Jack and Daxter kind of a title, where it's like you always have control of Jack while Daxter's with you the whole time, but then in certain segments, like you play as Daxter to like get to a switch or like open up a door or something like that. Not saying that you would play as the boy to like monkey bars across a fucking platform, but like I
Right.
think that would be a really cool mechanic if you like took control of the boy to get Kratos further in the story and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it would be neat if you could take control of the boy just
Me too.
for some part of the game.
Yeah.
I think it would be neat to do that. Look at that. Dylan Gunn has subscribed for 19 months in a row.
that's awesome, man. Thank you.
And Dustin, were you able to use the new resubscription feature where you can leave a message? Was your message woo 19 months? Because I know that's a new thing that was added recently where you can leave a message with your resubscription.
That's highlighted in the comment section, so I would imagine that's what his message was.
Let me look myself. I want
Yeah,
to
it
look
looks
at how
like
that
it.
looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so that's his message that he left with
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
a new feature for subscribers, guys. If you
Pretty
want to have your message highlighted, you can subscribe or resubscribe even, like
awesome
Dustin
sauce.
did 19 months straight now. Here's a question I have for you guys.
Okay.
You saw the troll scene there, how he's breaking the ice and whatnot. Do we think the whole game is just going to be a lot of scripted moments like that, or do you think that's a dynamic thing where like weather and environment and all that can be affected by the enemies?
I'm thinking that's scripted.
Yeah, me too. I love them going out of their way, but
I think it'll have its.
I think
It'll have its dynamic moments. Whereas Mike brought up a good point too. I don't know if you came up with that, Mike, but I really do love that comparison. I didn't hear it previous to that with the Tomb Raider theory.
They actually came out and said that.
Oh, they did. Okay, I really love that comparison a lot because if that's what this game is going to turn out to be, like very intense third-person over-the-shoulder perspective, and then you get to have like the little battles that you come across, and then like the big set-piece moments. I would love that for a God of War title.
That is what they compared it to.
And especially with this little boy too, like if he's the one gathering all the experience and everything like that, I still hope there's like an upgrade system for Kratos. I would assume there is going to be, right?
Yeah, I would imagine. They said that it's both you and the boy that are going to be gaining experience, not just the boy.
Okay.
But you're molding this kid.
Yeah.
That's one of the big parts of the game is that you're molding this boy into potentially a god. I don't know.
Is it like a Clementine story though? Like, is my boy going to end up different than your boy? Like, that's what I would like to know. Like, I want to know if there's like decisions. Like, is it like The Walking Dead in the sense that like, yeah, we all end up at the same place, but my Clementine can be taught totally different things than your Clementine?
I don't think that it will, but that would be pretty cool if that was the case.
That would be
let's go to a link that was shared in the chat. I think it was by Game Killer, who had a theory that was shared on the internet. Not his theory, one that he found. It's called, Is Kratos an escaped Einherji? I'm not sure how to say that, but let's put this up on the big screen here.
That sounded right.
At the end of God of War 3, Kratos is dead, but death isn't always the end in mythology. Kratos, after a lifetime of battle and fighting family, meets his end from the sword of his father. He does this to defeat Athena and disrupt her plans. Athena then pulls the sword out of Kratos, leaving him to bleed out on the ground. Credits roll. If you stay after the credits, you are shown that Kratos' body is no longer there with the massive hole in his chest. Instead is a trail of blood leading off the cliff. I honestly never thought we were going to come back to that. I thought that was it. I thought that was the end of the series.
Really?
Yeah, I really did.
No, I knew they were doing something.
I mean, I thought it was the end of Kratos, in the series at least.
Oh, no, I knew they were doing stuff with him.
Moving on, Step into the North. Now, let us jump in the new trailer. In it, Kratos is somewhere up north, assumed to be ancient Scandinavia, with some mystery child, of course, blah, blah, blah. Let's see if I can find where the theory starts. Skip ahead a tiny bit in the video, and we meet the hideous troll. This is the hall where the dead chose by Odin himself go to join the Eidherjar, not sure how to say it. They are taken for the purpose of aiding Odin during the events of Ragnarok. Who else would be better to have during Ragnarok than the man who went and slaughtered the Greek gods? This all led me to believe that Odin picked Kratos to join the group in Valhalla. Surely a single man destroying the entire pantheon would garner the attention of the neighboring gods. This would explain why his body was absent at the end of God of War 3. So maybe he was brought back by Odin for the purpose. It's like, you defeated these gods, now I need you to do it again.
And there's a lot of people that are talking about the different things that, being used for Ragnarok, both Midgar and, all these, like, all the creatures and everything, a lot of the stuff that's being seen in these, and I can't remember what the theory was. Like, what's funny is I looked it up, like, the next day or a couple days later, and there's a lot of things that people were saying are pointing to a Ragnarok type event. Yeah. So that could be very likely. I like this a lot. I'm so fucking psyched for this game.
Yeah, there's also some hints, 2-minute warning, there's also some hints at who the enemies or the gods that you might fight in this game are. The logo has the symbols of all the Norse gods in it. Did you guys realize that, the logo?
No.
If you go around the logo, the circle, there's 8 symbols for the gods. One of them is Odin. Awesome. One's Freyr. I'm trying to find the image online.
Freyr is my family's maiden name.
Is it really?
Yeah, I wonder if we're gods.
I'm trying to find the. I think it was on NeoGAF that I saw it, and of course now I can't find it again. But I thought it was really interesting, and I would imagine that it probably is going to be what the gods are that you.
I'm really excited to have a different mythology, only because I feel like everyone knows the Greek gods and the Greek mythology very, very well. But I feel like to explore, like, especially if they do take on the idea to do like Egyptian after this, and to like take on every mythology in a different like series or a different title of the franchise, I would love that. Supposedly,
this artwork here, this was from the leak with all the concept art. This looks very much like that figure floating in the distance, and in this artwork. Doesn't really look malevolent to me.
I don't find it malevolent.
No, it looks creepy as hell in the demo.
Oh yeah, 100%. But in the image, not so much.
Yeah, I think it's just because in the demo, like, it's floating off, like in the darkness, and you can't see it well.
It's like eerily creeping.
Yeah, it's creepy. It's like, what is this thing that's watching Kratos right now? Yeah. I'm trying to find that last thing.
Kind of reminds me of like the Journey scarf.
Yeah, I can see that.
A little bit.
I don't think I'm going to be able to find it, unfortunately.
Crap balls.
But yeah, I saw there was 8 symbols on the logo, and each of them represents a god. One of them is like the death god. One of them is the sun god. You have Odin, of course.
I'm so very excited that they called this game God of War. I think that's one of my favorite parts about the whole re-reveal of this. And yes, it's Kratos, and yes, he's aged or different or whatever the fuck he is now, but I really love the fact that they called it God of War. And now people that haven't played the previous games are going to totally be able to come in here. People that appreciate God of War for what it is are going to appreciate it for what it is and hopefully love it even more. I'm very excited for the story-based God of War.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Me too. I was a little surprised, though, that they did call it God of War and nothing else. Just because if it is what we're seeing it is, like a sequel, I thought they would call it God of War 4. To call it God of War, it feels like my immediate assumption was, oh, this must be an entirely new Kratos. It must be like a reinvention of the character, like a spiritual successor.
I was hoping
that isn't canon to 1 through 3. And then when I heard that it was, I was like, oh, well, that's weird. Then why call it God of War with no numeral at the end? But as you said, I do agree that it's going to help the game in the long run as far as attracting a new audience who isn't going to feel nervous about jumping into this series knowing nothing.
My only issue when they do this stuff is like, oh, is there going to be confusion and this and that? But because God of War 1 was on PS2, you know, when that happens, like, my only issue with rebooting a franchise or anything like that is usually when it comes to movies. And with video games, if it's on the same console, that's an issue to me. But since it's been so far back, now you can just be like, God of War, which one? PS4. Oh, okay, it makes sense.
Right, yeah, I agree with that.
It's not a big deal to me at that point.
All right, that is the end of our God of War analysis. Let's move back into the mail time. First one of the night. You guys can submit your questions every month with hashtag IODP if you want to be a featured question. This one is, Dear It Only Does PlayStation, if you could choose one game to be remade into virtual reality, what would it be? That came from Mel, aka Strife Girl, who's in the chat right now. Thank you so much for your free question, Mel. What do you guys think?
I have one right off the bat.
Now, I assume this could be a game that's already been released, maybe even a game from previous generations, or it could be a game that is coming soon that we would like to be in VR.
Not necessarily the whole game, but just to experience Mass Effect in that world in first person and to see like aliens that up close to you, and that world to me is so riveting. I would love Mass Effect in VR. That's coming from a guy who's never tried VR, so I don't know how realistic it is, but if it's as realistic as everyone says it does, give me Mass Effect, and the other one I thought of was Kingdom Hearts. I would love Kingdom Hearts. Yeah,
Kingdom Hearts would be cool. One for me, I'm not sure how it would work, but I just would love to be in the Journey world.
Oh, God. You have a long flowing scarf going around you? That would be beautiful.
And just imagine like flying, because that's the whole game. You're pretty much just floating and flying and all that. I think it would feel amazing.
Are we talking the same camera angles as the games when they released?
It could be continuing third person, or you could switch it to first person. Like Greg said, I think you were saying that you would switch it to first person, right?
Yeah.
For Mass Effect.
You know what? Sticking with the same camera angle though. Anyway, Metroid Prime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one.
That would be awesome, dude. I would love that.
To see the visor and see your reflection in like the glass and stuff. That would be pretty neat. That would feel so weird, because like it wouldn't be you looking at yourself. You'd be you looking at this woman instead, which would be interesting.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. I think that would be a really good one. I mean, the problem with this is you have to really take into play, and I think one of the biggest issues with VR now, and Resident Evil showed it. So many people were so excited when they saw that Resident Evil 7 was going to be playable completely in VR. But the problem, because it's one of the first mainstream games to do that, but the biggest issue is it wasn't built for VR from the ground up, so a lot of people were getting sick because not everything moves in the way it should. So that's like my biggest worry is that, so I don't know. I don't know if I would want a game remade, for VR from previously. So it would have to be something that would work in that sense already.
Right. Another one that came to my mind, I think first-person shooters that put you into the character, not one where you're playing a character, but where you become the character. And so like Half-Life 2 I think would be a really good example of a first-person shooter that would adapt well to VR.
You just made so many people nerdgasm.
Or Portal. Imagine Portal.
I was gonna say, also would be good. Portal was a good one, but also it didn't kind of funny bring that up too, about Portal being one of the ways that VR goes.
Probably. All they do is copy us at this point.
I think it was right.
I'm over it.
Giant bomb though, actually. But anyway, I mean, what about Gone Home and
no, Gone Home? I would have not been able to deal with that emotionally in VR. I would not. I would physically not. I couldn't deal with that without VR. If I was walking up into that attic fucked me up. I will tell you that right the fuck now.
I still need to play it, so I don't know. But games like that, and everybody's gone to the Rapture, Firewatch, even games like that, I think would do really, really, really well.
Brad says Skyrim.
That's
Skyrim
actually
would be
I
cool.
was gonna say that too. So that was a good call out from him because I would love that.
And Johnny said PT. Oh man, imagine PT.
I have one.
VR. Go ahead.
The first BioShock.
No, BioShock Infinite's. Imagine
BioShock.
riding the rails and actually like using your hand to like grab on and ride the rails like a roller coaster.
You would feel like you're falling from the fucking sky.
Yes, that's why it would be even better than the original BioShock.
Yeah, that's very true.
But they're both good. I agree with both,
The
Greg.
skyhook would freak me out.
Yeah, that would
I'm afraid
be
of heights.
crazy.
Everybody's jumping on the hype train, but think about it for a second. Fucking Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare.
Well, they have the whatchamacallit in
Modern
VR
Warfare
now.
Remastered. No, I don't think that the demo
Modern Warfare's
for
not counting with that.
No, it's not. No, and that wasn't in VR.
Yeah, Greg, I don't think that actually was in VR
We
Infinite
actually got
Warfare.
confirmation that it was just weird.
Yeah,
Like,
we
that's
thought that
not
it was,
I
but it
thought
wasn't.
I still.
But
think
no,
it
Modern
is.
Warfare 4, like, remember, like, one of the reasons that so many people like that game was, like, all the different, different things that happen, but partway through you're playing, it was the first game where you're playing as a character that ends up dying. So you're imagine that where you're in the helicopter and you're flying out and you see a nuke go off and your helicopter goes down and you're trying to crawl out of the crash and you just die. Like, that would be so fucking intense. I would love that.
I don't know if I would like to die. But like, yeah, that's fun. I was thinking more of like Mass Effect.
That was a great question. Thank you so
Yeah, that
much,
was a
Mel,
great
question.
for submitting that. Guys, go on our Twitter right now at the Level Up Network, level spelled LVL. Submit your question for next month's show with hashtag IODP. You might be featured. And before we move on to topic number 2, which I think belongs to Greg.
Yeah.
Is it you, Greg? Yes. So we'll move on to Greg's topic after this commercial break. We'll be back in approximately 60 seconds. Hold on tight.
Share the
Miss
show.
Mel. Share the show as well, guys. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Welcome back, Level Uppers, to It Only Does PlayStation Episode 10. This is the Level Up Network's dedicated PlayStation talk show on once every month. If you like what we're doing at any point, please make sure to follow the show. Hit that heart button at twitch.tv/levelupshow. We will shout you out. You'll get notifications whenever we go live in the future. Also, check out all of our other channels, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon, or if you want to donate like Mel did tonight, just go to levelupnetwork.com/donate. It goes towards our goal of getting a new desktop computer to improve the quality of all of our shows moving forward and to really make certain things special like Extra Life later this year. All right, we are about to move on to topic number 2. As we were saying, This is E3 2016 special this month where we're each going through a particular game that we thought was that stood out, was special at the PlayStation conference, which I think we can all agree was the best conference of E3 this year.
My favorite video game conference of all time. I literally cried.
Yeah, I still don't know if I like it better than last year, to be honest with you. But it's like right there with it.
You were saying that it was like last year was good, but it wasn't that great. Wasn't that you?
No, that wasn't me.
Someone was saying that. I thought.
I think that was probably me. I loved last year's conference, don't get me wrong, but this year's conference, I think it was just more appealing to me. I think I enjoyed a lot more of what happened, and I was telling you guys the whole conference leading up to it, I was like, I need to be fucking wowed. And then when Resident Evil 7 happened, I literally shit my pants.
It's just hard to top the Final Fantasy VII Remake reveal for me.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Not much
that's
that
like,
can do that.
That's like amazing for you.
Yeah. But go, Greg, what is the game that you would like to discuss?
So, I know I recently just put up my game of show. You guys can all watch that at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/levelupnetwork. Nice plug there, Greg. Thank you, gang. But I decided to analyze and discuss a game that I've researched Resident Evil 7 a lot. So a game that I feel like we could discuss more in depth was Days Gone. Kind of very much still a mystery to me. I still get vibes of like Last of Us. You mentioned Sons of Anarchy, which I didn't compare it to until you had mentioned it, and now I can't stop thinking about a Sons of Anarchy game in the fact of Days Gone. But then it's also has that mix of it's World War Z thrown in there, and it's just the amount of everything that happens is what makes you the most terrified, is being cornered and being thrown into it. But other than that, we don't really know the story.
Any chance at all that they are still keeping a secret that this is connected to the Last of Us universe?
See, like that's what I wanted to ask you guys, because Days Gone doesn't feel like its own thing to me.
So it's interesting that you bring that up, Drew, because I'm going to say it again, kind of funny, but Colin was even saying this to him is almost confirmation in a way that we are not getting Last of Us 2 anytime soon.
I definitely don't agree with that at all. I think that a year gap is all you need between these games
I agree with that.
for them to release. That's all. Like, you have so many zombie games now. What are you telling me that like all these different zombie games releasing? The Walking Dead was huge the year that The Last of Us came out.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's going to be a lot of retread. I know that they're both Sony studios, but I feel like the way we're looking at it right now, it looks similar to The World just because it's a world that's been
like
overgrown
drab.
and drab.
It looks almost the same design in a way.
I mean, it looks the same because any world like this is going to look the same. Any apocalypse where it wasn't like a nuclear bomb going off is going to look like this. It's going to look overgrown. The difference here is, as Greg said, the World War Z type zombies, which is a very different style of gameplay. When you have
something I don't think we've
hordes.
seen since like Left 4 Dead.
And even Left 4 Dead didn't do it to this extent.
Yeah, and not to this degree of like mass chaos hysteria.
Yeah, in this, they're piling on top of each other. They're literally creating mountains of zombies like World War Z, which is terrifying.
Oh my god,
that's really terrifying.
I was
Personally,
nervous
I don't think
watching the
it's
demo.
Yeah.
I
I think it's going to be even more. Oh, I was going to say I don't think it has anything to do with Last of Us, just because of the way the zombies are. And they were even talking about it, because I mean, think about it. First off, they have nothing to do with any of the clickers or anything like that. They would have to go in and change all the character models for all the different types of creatures that we saw. And they said that they didn't even go into detail more. And I'm sure, that you saw where they have personalities, they sleep together and everything like that, in packs. So they have their own. I guess.
Yeah, I don't think they're zombies. That's for sure. They're not zombies.
I Am Legend, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. They're not undead. They're infected, and it might be even so that they're infected, but they still have some remnant of their humanity left, like I Am Legend, as you just said, Mike. That's a good example, and I think that would be pretty cool if we find out that we're killing these things, especially the little boy. You kill a little boy in that demo, the first thing that attacks you, and to know potentially that boy has some remnant of humanity left within him. It's very, very sad. Now, what do we think of the main character? Like, who is this guy? I've heard a little bit about him.
Deacon St. John.
Yeah.
So he's a drifter, and apparently he's a former bounty hunter.
On a steel horse he rides.
Literally, actually, though. And he rides around on his Harley. I really love the voice actor that's playing him. I don't know if you guys know who it is. It's Sam Witwer.
Yep.
Who played the guy from Force Unleashed, if you played any of those games. And he was also on Being
Smallville.
Human and Smallville.
He was Doomsday, which was terrible.
He was. Yeah, not the best adaptation. That's not what I liked him for. But Being Human, he was really good, and he played the vampire on that show.
Now, I was reading on NeoGaf. Yep. Shout out NeoGaf. We have a topic there now. That he is very much a violent person.
Yes.
He I don't want to say he gets off on it, but like this is his thing. Like he survives in this world. Yes, he survives in this world because this was the person that he was before the apocalypse even happened. That he was somebody that faced danger and could overcome it, and is just a violent person inside. Now, do you think that that's going to bring about morality decisions in this game?
I think it's going to be very much a game of limited choice in the same way of like The Last of Us, how you could choose to like how you explored the world, but you inevitably like only found out more about it by exploring it yourself. I'm thinking like the story is going to be very linear, very focused, especially in the go ahead.
I'm going to disagree,
and
only because the one thing I was seeing about that is how your choices in the game affects how things play out in the openness of your main area, your main camp hub. So I'm going to go with it's probably more like Fable, where your choices affect how the towns are laid, how your town and everybody is laid out, what characters you have and what you don't.
I would love that. I know the environments are going to definitely shift based on the combat the same way. That's why I keep comparing it to The Last of Us, because the way that everything unfolded, like if I threw a Molotov cocktail, then the whole side building of the school would like burn to the ground. Like that was so cool to me. And I think this world's going to work the same way, because they even said in the demo that they played, you could have gone about that any way you fucking wanted to. And that was just the path that the guy took. So I really like that aspect of it. But I think as the main focus story goes on, I think that's going to be very, very much so about Deacon St. John and what he's going after or what he's doing. Because the game takes place 2 years after the pandemic or whatever thing that killed almost everybody. So it's
which is kind of crazy that it's not that long though when you consider other games like The Last of Us being 20 years, how long it took for that world to become real dilapidated and overrun by nature. And this one, it's only been 2 years and it's already gone to shit so quickly. Now, I agree with both you guys. I think that that there's not going to be a lot of effect that you have in the game. I don't think it's going to be like the Walking Dead where you have like these pivotal moments where you have to make a decision. Yeah. But I agree with Mike where I think it's going to be like Infamous, where, you know, as you're wandering around, like people might treat you differently. And it sounds like you come from an encampment. I'm assuming that you are going to be at this camp in the game and go back and forth to it, ride your bike on the open road.
You're the Daryl Dixon of Days Gone.
Yeah, so maybe depending on like the decisions that you make out there in the wilderness, the people back at your camp might look at you a little differently.
That I would really, really appreciate and like.
Now, do you think there's going to be any like romance? Because
you see that blonde-haired woman.
Yeah, but it seems like she's dead already.
But that's what I was going to ask you guys. Is I'm assuming that the story. So this is my take on what's going to happen in this game. I'm thinking that you're going to partner up with somebody that you come across, a complete stranger to you, and then throughout the game, it's going to be flashbacks to your previous love or whoever that interest was with that blonde-haired woman and how he maybe lost her when everything went down, and kind of compare it almost to like Joel and Ellie in the situation where like he lost his spoilers for The Last of Us, but I think you should have already played it by now. Where he lost his daughter, and then that dynamic and that relationship kind of built up again. I think that's kind of almost exactly what they're going for with this. Is like they showed her for a significant reason, and then she's kind of like faded away out of existence. Like you said, I'm assuming she's dead at this point. I don't know if they've said that, but I would assume at this point she's definitely dead.
Then what's the goal of this game? Like what are we trying to do here?
That's my point. It's like I don't know anything about it. Like I just know that it's like the zombie outbreak has happened, but it's not. They're not even zombies. They call them freakers. I think they said. Which they're like mindless, like humanized weird creatures. So they don't have like any functionality or any mentality of what they're doing, but they just kind of go. Almost like the zombies from Dead Nation, but mixed with the World War Z speed.
That might be my one concern I have right now is when you look at The Last of Us, you knew from the very start, like this is a game that's telling a story. And it's got an end goal, it's got an end game, it's going to have closure. When you take the zombie apocalypse and you just put it in this open world where you're just going around doing these little missions and whatnot, like I just wonder if they're going to be able to tell a cool story in a cohesive way, because that is their focus. They said that this is a single player game. They're not doing multiplayer. They're trying to tell a story. I just hope that what they're building by choosing this open world environment, I hope that they can tell a cool story within that.
I would love, and I keep comparing it to, I showed the trailer of the game to my friends, like the gameplay demo, and we were all talking about it, and then I showed them the cinematic trailer, and they were like, you know what it kind of reminds me of? And I was like, what? And they were talking, I don't know if you guys have ever read the book or seen the movie The Road.
Yeah, I love that movie.
And that's what my friends kept telling me, that it reminded me of that. So if it was anything like that, just about like this random drifter, and we don't have to know anything about him, and then he just kind of has these interactions with people in this fucked up world, I would be totally content with that myself.
Hempman has a pretty good guess. He says bounty hunting down the ones who killed your wife.
That could be it. I don't think they were that serious though. She seemed more like a one-off thing to me personally. I don't know if he had a wedding band though. I didn't look for that.
I think you're gonna be very selfish in the game. I think you're really only gonna do things to help the community that you're in because it's going to help you survive, longer.
Yeah, right.
I think that's really what it's gonna be. I feel like you're gonna they're going to try to shoehorn in this whole, act as a community and love others. Otherwise, you're not going to survive to the fullest or anything like that type thing.
But that could be super cool is that there's multiple communities and you can choose a community you want to be in, or your community could be overrun by a different community. Now, when I think of that, though, I think, wow, this game should probably be multiplayer and other people should be able to belong to other camps and overtake each other. And
I also talking about a different game.
That's a differthis game. But still, I think they could make that work within this world where you choose the camp you want to belong to and you have to build up your camp and it can be overtaken and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. That's a possibility. I don't know if that works within a very focused single player game because that seems to be what they're going for. But if it could be like a side of that, kind of like Metal Gear Solid 5 had the mother base thing going on at the same time as the single player, maybe they could make that work. And that was
like a constant game in and of itself. You know what I mean?
It was.
Which was so cool.
Like recruiting people to your camp and trying to make it stronger, trying to get guys that go out and get supplies, trying to get guys that are guards and giving them,
I think that's
roles.
A big thing of it. That's what I was saying. Like from every description of the game from the developer when he was talking, I can't remember who it was he was talking to, but it made it sound like you are going to just be doing whatever you can to improve the town so you can survive longer.
Right.
So it's gonna, you're gonna add shops. I'm sure that you find this one character and maybe he can, give you better, a faster upgrade for your bike or something like that, and stuff like that.
The camp is definitely confirmed.
Yes, there's the camp. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, did
I
you
was
guys
thinking
see
more like
this?
I Am Legend, and I would love if it was just like you and a dog. Like,
No, I don't think that's the case.
don't
Did you
think
guys
any
see
more
this
games are
longer
done.
gameplay trailer here? This is an extended gameplay trailer.
No, I didn't see that one.
There's a lot of
I
cool
believe
stuff
it
in
was
this
just,
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
This
like
is
it
where they
actually
showed you,
shows
like,
some.
the paths, right?
Yeah, but it also shows like more melee.
Yeah.
Oh my god, look how many are on screen right there. That's insane. That's hundreds.
Right, and
Hundreds.
that's the other cool thing is that there were multiple ways that they could have taken that gameplay demo. So what we saw on stage was only one choice that the character had, and
Right.
they did confirm, like we were all suspecting, that they turned off the attack AI, so they would just run after you. Because if you notice in the demo, they're just bumping by him, just running by.
Right.
They wanted to show that you can use guns, but really you're just going to be running and fucking fighting for your life.
Yeah. But I thought it was really cool how he's using the axe there and going after the gut or going after the head.
Yeah.
He's using an environment to like slam the zombie's head into a saw. Like there's just, if the whole game is like this where they really went carefully through and put environmental elements everywhere that you can utilize, in your escape from these hordes, man, like this could be really, really cool.
It's so frustrating to me because I'm very much, as we all know, a very big proponent on story in games. Like I will play a fucking shitty, bugged out, glitchy mess in order to appreciate an awesome story, which I love. Mike, I hate that sound. But I will say that seeing those zombies come over the roof and like in everything in the gameplay demo, when you see that fucking horde come into the distance and into the light, wow, that's enough for me to play this game.
Oh yeah, this is definitely one of the
wow.
the best premieres of E3 for
When
me.
do you guys think it's going to be?
I think it'll be 2018 personally.
That's what I'm thinking. 2018.
I think it'll be early.
Early 2018. I think it's going to be like, April of 2018.
They said they began full production on the game January of 2015.
Well, they began it earlier than that, but they actually pivoted and they changed everything it was going to be.
Not because they wanted to. It sounded like Shu
Sony,
and Sony were looking at what they had and they were like, "This isn't quite where we want it to be. I think you guys need to adjust," and so they adjusted.
Yeah.
But I'm still really looking forward to this. We got about a minute left in this topic here. Yeah. Final comments on Days Gone. What you want this game to be?
Hopefully it's a good story. That's all I am asking from it.
Okay.
Right now they have the combat is selling me on it. The look of the game is amazing. I've never seen that many enemies on screen in any game, I don't believe.
Right.
Ever so far, and especially one that looks still that graphically detailed and that good. So if you compare that with an amazing story that I'll get attached to these characters and start caring about them, we might have another PlayStation franchise I fall in love with.
How about you, Mike? What do you want from this game?
That's all I want from any game. Give me something that makes it, give me a reason to do things in the game. Don't get me wrong, I love story and everything like that, but give me something. I can find, maybe the crafting thing, like how he grabs the oil canister. Maybe you have to learn how to do that. Give me stuff like that actually allows me to progress.
I agree with both what you guys said. What I really want from this game is it to not feel like The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I want this to be its own thing.
juggernaut.
Yes.
Feel like its own thing. First of all, just because I think that it's going to have more success if that's the case. And second of all, because I want The Last of Us 2 to still happen. Like I don't want these games to cannibalize each other. Yeah. So I really hope that Bend is finding a way to make this feel unique. And from what we can see so far, I do think that they're accomplishing that. Just in the fact that it's open world and the fact that it's hordes of zombies, that you're using the environment, I think that they are accomplishing that.
Big ups to Sony Bend in general. I'm so happy that this is finally what we've been waiting for, to see that they've been working on something.
And thank you for tweeting us out. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Eric, I'm trying to think. Eric Jensen tweeted us out. Our second mail time of the night doesn't seem to be showing for some reason.
Oh. Mail time.
Do you have the outline open, guys?
Yes, I do. You want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So this one comes from our YouTube, where Cback22 asked, "Did E3 just help push the PlayStation VR into your home for sure?"
There it goes. For some reason, it took a second to load. Yes, and that came from, who was that from?
Cback22.
Cback22. Thank you for the question. Really appreciate it. Another VR question.
Yes.
People really focus on virtual reality.
It was a big focus for E3, though, in general. Not even for the conferences, but on the show floor.
And I do think that they sold a lot of people on it.
I believe they do. But I say that in that timid, weird tone because until I physically use it myself, like I still don't think I can purchase it and justify the purchase, especially with the scary thing, like Mike brought up earlier with Resident Evil 7. Like that's a game that wasn't built. Like, yeah, it's awesome you can play the whole game in VR, but like that wasn't built for VR. So like, there's
Right.
not one application to me where I'm like, fuck, like I need this. I need this in my life. Like I'm gonna play Resident Evil 7 first person probably, and I could totally be content. Will I? If I had VR, would I play it in VR? Fuck yeah, but regardless,
You
I'm
can
playing
go
Resident Evil 7.
to New York and try it out. By the way, it's going to be
Yeah.
at Best Buys near you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to start expanding much further as well pretty soon. They said that it's going to start spreading quickly to other Best Buys. I'm really excited to play because that's what everybody's saying, right? Is that you need to experience it to understand why this is the next big thing. Resident Evil 7 was a huge surprise.
Yeah.
I don't think almost anybody saw that coming. The way the audience reacted to that was one of the biggest like reactions that we saw out of the audience itself. And if you look at PlayStation Experience reactions in the theaters, that moment was huge. They really did a great job of selling that. Even Batman VR, I'm hearing pretty cool things about that. Even if it's just like a 1 hour experience, that sounds exciting. Getting into the bat suit, going down into the cave.
Yeah. Dean and I talked about this in depth on Power Up. And we ran through the whole demo of what they did with everybody on the team. And it's like about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And what you do is you start off as Bruce Wayne in the manor. You play the piano, which takes you to the secret Batcave entrance, which is pretty fucking awesome. You meet up with Alfred, and then Alfred helps you like put together the armor and the suit and everything. And then you just take it out for like batarang tosses and like freeze grenades. You get to like try stuff out. And then they give you the investigation mission where you have to investigate a close member of the Bat family's death. I won't spoil who it is.
Yeah, I was very surprised on who it was.
I was very happy with who it was, not because of what happened, but like,
clearly it's non-canon.
Yeah,
Rocksteady would not kill that character in a VR game.
No.
But it makes it more, I don't know,
surprising,
yeah, and shocking to do it that way. So that's pretty cool. I was very surprised that this was the last chance for them to reveal No Man's Sky as VR, and they didn't.
I'm happy though, because we don't need more. We've seen so much of this fucking game. The only thing that surprised me was just like coming on stage, I feel like the only thing that I would have wanted was for him to come on stage and be like, guys, thank you so much for the support. I get that everybody wants it, and I understand why everybody's so eager and why everybody's annoyed. Trust me, it's coming out on this date, and we're so happy that you guys...
Well, they have a date. I mean, that's not the problem. We know when it's coming. It wasn't delayed that
I'm not
far.
saying for a date. I'm just saying that's the only thing I would want. I don't need more gameplay. I don't need more description.
Yeah, but this is the only chance they had to reveal VR with the game. Like, this was their last chance, which means that it's probably not happening. And that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised at, because it seems like it would have been the killer IP for PlayStation VR, and it didn't happen.
Especially if they bundled it together in a deal.
Yeah.
That just seemed like a
I really thought they were going to make it happen.
Me too.
So maybe they'll patch it at a later date, but I thought it was going to be ready at launch, and maybe that was one of the reasons they were delaying it. Not ready at launch, where obviously PlayStation VR doesn't come out until October, but I thought that they would have it known at launch that this is going to support PlayStation VR when it comes out. But there's still a chance that maybe they're waiting until closer to PlayStation VR's release to announce the bundle. So I guess we can still hold out hope that it's going to happen.
And you're definitely picking up No Man's Sky?
I'm definitely picking it up, yeah.
Are you?
Definitely, yeah, 100%.
Still on the fence.
I'm not at all.
What is like the one thing that would get you guys to buy PlayStation VR? Like, I know, if Resident Evil 7 was exclusive to PlayStation VR, would that do it for you, Greg?
Oh, 100%. I would have bought it. I would have pre-ordered it tomorrow. Yesterday, the day.
How about you, Mike? How about you, Mike?
Oh, no, I mean, I want to buy it no matter what. I want this. I'm in on it. I've been in on it since the get-go, and I haven't been shy about expressing that. My thing, though, is I'm concerned that people are getting too hyped for VR. Like, people like, Dean or... you, Greg, not that Dean's hyped for it, but like, I don't want anybody that was already on the fence to be like, from this E3, I'm so excited for this. Like, Batman, yes, it's going to be cool that you're going to get an hour-long story, but again, it's only an hour-long story, and half the people that you're going to want to show it off to will be bored within a few minutes. They're going to be like, all right, this is really cool, but let's go do something else. So that's kind of, and again, like you said, it's not like I said earlier, like Resident Evil wasn't built for VR, so until games are built for this thing, you're not going to be excited. Me, I want it no matter what, just because even playing a game that's not for VR, so where I have the full screen in front of my face, that is more appealing to me than anything else. I don't.
The thing right now is it's just all. Right now, VR is just a really big promise with some really big name applications attached to it. Does that make sense? Like right now, it's an iPhone with some cool apps, but like until everyone had the iPhone and it was like the biggest thing in the world, like that's when I got an iPhone. I think that's going to be the same thing for me with PlayStation VR.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be the year that's big for Sony.
No.
But I think that they're smart to to get going.
Yeah,
with
for
this.
sure. Yeah, I like the way that they've gotten it off the ground so far. I think they're doing a really good job.
I do think that it's going to
Funny
be
thing-
the next big thing.
Cliff Blazinski actually said that he thinks the VR is going to be the thing that pushes VR to what it is, which I thought was odd because he liked VR.
Wait, what did he say? He said
He thought PSVR was going to be really what pushes it into mainstream.
Oh, it pushes virtual reality in general.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you said
Which is
VR
cool because
pushes
he was
VR.
like, he's like, I like it, but the other ones are better.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, PlayStation VR is definitely the most mainstream of all of the ones that we've seen so far. It's the most
Cheapest,
comfortable.
and
It's the most
most
affordable.
comfortable,
So I do agree with that. I think this is going to be the one chance. Yeah. All right. Thank you to CBAC22. Great question. Really appreciate it. Keep those coming, guys. Go to our Twitter at the Level Up Network, level spelled LVL. Tweet at us with hashtag IODP and a hard-hitting PlayStation dedicated question. You might be featured on next month's episode of It Only Does PlayStation. Right now, we're going to move on to our trailer of the month. But first, we have 23 people in the room. We've been sticking around the 20s most of the night. Share the show, guys. Let's try and get a little more people in here before we move on to topic number 3. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, wherever you can. Just try and bring in some community members to build this community stronger. All right. So this trailer, I think, actually just came out today.
Did it? Man, I can't see it. I want to fucking watch it now.
I'm watching it with Drew playing it. So Drew, just give me the countdown.
Oh, I already started.
Oh, well, this is
In
awkward.
a land of sorrow and bitter cold, a tale of sacrifice will be told.
Looks beautiful.
Music is great.
Oh my god, the music is incredible.
This was raved about too.
A classic RPG from modern times. I love it.
A girl destined for death will give
Ah.
everything to save her people.
That's such a Chrono Trigger scene right there. That looks exactly like something out of Chrono Trigger or Chrono Cross. X-Strike is literally an exact move from Chrono Trigger.
This looks awesome.
I'm very happy for this.
I love the combat.
I kind of love that it doesn't have voice acting. It really does feel like a classic RPG in every way.
I feel like this is what
The
makes it a
graphic.
classic.
It's got an airship. Oh my god, you have an overworld. I love it. Oh my god, I can't wait for this game. I can't wait for it.
Is this going to be a full-scale release?
Yeah, it's like a 40-hour game.
No, but like $60, like full-scale
No,
release?
20 bucks, I think.
Oh, I thought it was more than 20.
Oh no, it's 40 bucks, I think. I think it's.
I just
30
didn't know. I just didn't know the pricing on it, but I definitely think I'm gonna pick it up. Add it to my list of bankruptcy.
Yeah, go look it up, Greg. But I think it's $39.99.
19th of July.
Yeah,
not that
That's
far
next
away at all.
month, right? Yeah, I'm very excited for that. That's gonna be a very good middle of the month thing. Do we know if it's cross save?
It's a $40 price tag.
$40. Okay.
Yeah,
And I'm looking stuff up about it now.
Yeah, it is coming out for the Vita as well, right?
yeah. That's why I was wondering if it's cross save. It'd be.
Wait, it's not coming out for the Vita. They said they're considering the Vita.
Oh, then what am I thinking?
World of Final Fantasy is the one coming to
Right
Vita.
now, it's for PlayStation 4 and PC, priced at $40.
Okay, that's still good for me.
If you're hoping for a PlayStation Vita version, Square Enix has said if there was a swell of demand.
Doubt that's going to happen.
Rallying for it, man.
Not enough, man. It's going to have to be a pretty big swell, and I just don't think there's enough PlayStation Vita owners to care.
We're gonna have to get a lot of women pregnant in order for their feet to swell up. Am I right, kids?
I'll show them a swell.
There you go. I'm so excited for that. I'll be getting that one for sure. Can't wait. All right, we're going to move on to another quick commercial break. Hold on tight, Hemp Man. We'll be back in approximately 60 seconds.
Hemp Man, share the show.
Welcome back, Level Uppers, to It Only Does PlayStation Episode 10. This is the Level Up Network's PlayStation dedicated talk show on once every month. If you like what we're doing at any point, please make sure to follow the show. Hit that heart button at twitch.tv/levelupshow. We will shout you out. You'll get notifications whenever we go live. Game Killer says in the chat, so like I can post anything on the NeoGaf, Drew? Yeah, anything related to our show, really, or if gaming, if you want to try and it's a community to discuss with other people in our community. So yeah, if you just want to talk games in there, and hopefully other members from our community can come in there and also talk it. It's a way for you guys to get together. But if you want to ask us questions about the show, talk about how we can improve the shows, the network in general, just anything really related to gaming and to the Level Up Network. It's pretty open in that way. You can use it as a place to post clips from our shows, like ones that maybe you isolated yourself and you're like, I really like this moment. Let me share this on NeoGaf. You can do that. You can share our episodes from YouTube, anything you guys want, really. It's up to you. It's not...
As long as you remember.
Yeah, it's not our community, it's your community, really, for the Level Up Network. So I really hope that you guys can get on there if you're not there yet. Sign up for NeoGaf. I hope you get in. Sometimes it takes 1 day, sometimes it takes 6 months. It all depends on what's going on NeoGaf at that moment. But it's worth it. I promise you that it is worth it. We're about to move on to topic number 3. As I was saying, follow the show, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Patreon, donate. Singularly at the bottom of the screen, we got a donation goal. New desktop computer. Go to levelupnetwork.com/donate. Thank you, Mel, for your donation of $10 tonight. Mike, what is the game that you want to discuss?
I don't know what you guys want to talk about.
Only what you want to talk about, man. This is your moment.
This is on me. Right.
This is your moment, man.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's give this moment then to the guys over at Quantic Dream and talk a bit about this Detroit becoming human bullshit.
Bullshit. Are you not excited?
No, I actually am very excited.
That was a really cool trailer.
I gave it actually fun fact. You'll see this in my video. I gave it a shout out as well.
It deserves one. It really does, because it wasn't really on my radar. I really liked Heavy Rain, but Beyond, I played several hours of it and I was like, this is not very good. So I know, Greg, that you actually were a pretty big fan of Beyond, but Beyond, yeah, I could not get into it. I wasn't really enjoying it at all. So, I was wondering, what's this going to be more like? Is it going to be more like Heavy Rain, or is it going to be more like Beyond? And this most recent trailer makes it feel a lot like Heavy Rain. And
from what people are saying for the gameplay impressions, I've been looking at all of them for pretty much every game. I've been looking at hands-on impressions that people have gotten, and this sounds a lot like they learned a lot of the mistakes they made in Heavy Rain and in Beyond Two Souls, but combined all the good that people liked. So the one thing I do like in this one is it looks like there's going to be a lot more examining the area, looking at things, interacting with stuff. What was the guy's name? The detective?
Connor.
Was
Connor?
Norman Jaden.
Oh, you're talking about in Heavy Rain?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, yeah, in Heavy Rain it was Norman Jaden.
But in the Boston accent, Norman Jaden.
Yeah, but no, he was awesome. That was my favorite part of Heavy Rain. Anytime I got to control him, I was extremely excited.
Those were the shit.
Right? So it looks like you're going to be doing a lot more of that with this game. In the demo itself, so, for those that, saw the demo, it was awesome. You go and you're being this, I guess, is it a cyborg, an AI?
It's an android is what they're calling them.
All right, so you're an android. You go in. There's kidnapping or anything like that. But what's cool is now in the demo, you see him. He looks at one thing and then goes right upstairs. But there's a lot to look at in that room, apparently. And if you stay and you actually examine the entire room, it'll unlock different dialogue choices and options for later in the game. So this, to me, is huge. Like that is what I want. I want the ability to control what I'm doing and making sure that I'm doing things the right way.
If the trailer is accurate, I mean, when they back out and they try and show the branching decisions, it looks like a lot more than you had in Heavy Rain. A lot more.
And that's what I'm really liking about it. Like, I didn't go back. I still kick myself for not going back and finishing and platinuming Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain is such a fun platinum, too.
Yeah, like all the different choices. I did go back a couple times and do a couple different endings, like especially with the convenience store. That was really cool.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I really love the idea that everything you do will be affecting the end result of both the scenario and the entire game. I'm just more concerned and questioning how many characters that they're putting into this.
That's my big question as well. We had 4 in Heavy Rain, if I remember right, and from what we can tell, we have 2 so far. I mean, we don't know for sure that we play as Kara,
No.
but I imagine that we do. They never showed her as playable. So you got Kara, you've got Connor from this most recent demo. Do you think that you also play as a human? I think that would be one of the smart things for them to do. I think they should
play
show
from
this.
every angle.
They should show this world from both sides, right? Because just like so far they're showing it as like the androids being the sympathetic characters. Like, why are the humans treating this way? They're like slaves. But at the same time, I think we should see it from the human perspective of like, should we trust these things? Like, like who's to say that they're not going to go out of control and take over the world? Just one of those things. So I think they need to show it from both sides, because humans shouldn't be shown as this like evil force in this game.
No.
I think that would be really dumb for them to do it that way.
I agree with that. I think that was my biggest problem with the film I Am Robot, is that they tried to make the androids just totally fucking evil. And then the one draw side obviously was the one android that you're like, oh, okay, like maybe I'm on the fence about. So I think if they played up that angle from every perspective, especially if you're taking control of every side too, I think that's really, really cool.
Wow, hey, hold on one sec.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, before you even get to that, Game Killer says that the interview with David Cage said you only play as androids.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, that's surprising.
I didn't
don't
see
know.
that one. That's
But-
interesting to me.
Sorry, Greg, I interrupted you there.
No, no worries. I was just going to read some of the comments that we have there. Hetman says, I've been a fan since Indigo Prophecy. Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls were good. I never played Indigo Prophecy myself. Did
No, me
either of
either.
you play that?
No, I missed out on that one.
But yeah, I loved Heavy Rain, my favorite that they've done so far, and then Beyond Two Souls is really good as well. Dark Passenger agrees and thought that Heavy Rain was cool, but couldn't make it through Beyond, same as you, Drew, even though Ellen Page's awesomeness, which she very much so is.
Yeah, she was
agree
great
with
in
that.
that. She put in the work, man. I felt
Yeah.
like she cared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that game with her performance, which was great to see.
Both in that and in Last of Us.
Right. That's true.
For the worst.
But I don't know, with Beyond, I think it was just too haphazard. It felt all over the place. Like it didn't have this cohesive style of storytelling. Heavy
Yeah.
Rain felt very cohesive. Like I
Yeah.
really liked how it had a starting
It was a
point, it had an
thriller,
end point,
yeah.
and you went through it. Like, and you were engrossed in what was happening the whole way through, and it had a cool twist at the end.
Yeah.
I think we don't know yet what this is going to be about. Really, we know like the world and what they're trying to build, and we get the concept and all, but we don't know.
And it's Purdy.
It is pretty. It's very pretty. But I assume if you only play as the androids, it's going to be about them like revolting and retaliating and all that kind of stuff.
I was thinking about it, and actually, it's not that bad of a thing. I can definitely see there being almost like a civil war within the Android community. I actually think that would actually enhance the way that the story unfolds. Instead of all the androids working together, you have some of them that actually, I mean, they're all supposed to have this conscious thought that it evolves, completely. So I'm going to guarantee you there's going to be a lot of human sympathizers, ones that are like, listen, we can be a problem for this life. And heck, that might be part of the thing, is that as you control the androids, you start learning more about how the androids actually do pose a threat to human life. And so you actually work with them to protect it. Like, there's a lot of different ways that they can go with it. So I actually have no problem with that as long as it's developed in the right way.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
I could agree with that too. I was thinking in my head like I had a different vision for it, for where I was going, but then again, I'm not making the game. I could love this when it comes out. Quantic Dream is always, for me, no matter what, they always kind of hit that 7.5. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always like, all right, it's going to be a good title. I've never been blown away by anything Quantic Dream has done.
For some reason, I think I liked Heavy Rain way more than I expected. And so to me, from my memory of it, I would definitely would still rate it as an 8.5. But
yeah, I agree.
It's 2020. I kind of want to play that again, see if it holds up. I want to answer a question. Bradley, we see shower scene, we get it, we want it, but they're androids, and I think they'll short their circuits.
Yes.
That's
Probably
true.
will not get a shower scene, not at least with one of the androids. You'll have a building scene where you get to see Kara half naked. That'll be your pervy moment, Brad. Yeah, so you have your pervy moment. Now, one of my concerns as well is like maybe it'll be a little bit too much of the same. Like Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, it's pretty much wandering around and expecting elements. You get a little bit more of an action take in Beyond for sure than you do in Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
But I just hope there's a little bit more to this game than what was there in the other two.
It's weird because I feel like Quantic Dream was the studio to kind of put this genre of game like out there, in the like exploratory decision making, very cinematic feel of a game. But I feel like the best portrayal of this genre that I've seen so far is Supermassive's Until Dawn.
I agree.
And I think if they are very, very smart, I think they'll play off of that game very well, because they kind of took the formula that Quantic Dream made and did it, in my opinion, 10 times better. And I loved every single aspect of Until Dawn. So if they could replicate that, and not even a horror story genre, like they didn't, like you can make it another intense thriller like you did Heavy Rain. I had no problem with Heavy Rain. I was just like, the voice acting took me out of it a bit. I wasn't as emotionally attached to the characters. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it was very underplayed for as intense as they were trying to make you feel.
This definitely does seem to be a step up, though.
Oh, 100%.
From both, maybe even from Beyond. I don't know for sure, but this seems to be well acted from what we've seen so far.
Yeah, and that's what I think they learned in Beyond, is that like you don't necessarily need big name actors like to be good actors. Like I think they just realized that the acting in the games needs to be told in a cohesive way. Like if they told the story of Heavy Rain but had Ellen Page and William Dafoe in that game, like I feel like that would have been crazy. But they took a really good story and gave it to like some unknown name people, whereas taking the big name people and kind of give them this like unknown weird anomaly of a story. So I think if they combine both those aspects, they could have a really, really big hit on their hands. I'm hoping. I know I'm sounding very negative on this game, but I'm very excited for it. I'm buying it day one. Like I'm gonna play this game. I'm very skeptical just because of what I played from them in the past.
I was more skeptical than I am now. I'm
a little more. I'm relieved now, especially like I said with the hands-on that a lot of people have said. They said I'm feeling much more excited for this game. Than
I definitely still have some skepticism, but the most recent trailer at E3 and the hands-on stuff that I've read, it definitely did qualm some of those fears that I had. This scene you just saw with the woman kind of like grabbing the android there, I think that's a perfect example of why human elements should be in this game. Like that makes sense to me. Like if I was that woman, I would be the same way. Like why are you sending an android to do this? Like why aren't you sending a human to try and talk this android off the edge? I want to see that, and I don't just want to see it from the android's point of view. I want to be within the human's point of view as well. So I hope that Game Killer is I hope that what he read is either them lying or just incorrect. I don't know. I just hope that there is the human element there.
Me too.
It needs to be a
no
part
pun
of it.
intended.
What would be the pun there?
You guys never saw The Human Element?
No.
Like the television show on Netflix?
No.
Oh my god, it's so good. You guys have to look it up. It's amazing. Have you never heard of The Human Element?
No, I never did.
Like why?
Like that? No. Hempman says, Quantic Dream did that style in 2005 with Indigo Prophecy and have been refining it since. Detroit should be awesome. Yeah, this has always been the Quantic Dream staple. Like, they have never changed.
Yeah, no, they're definitely going in the same genre, which I can appreciate, and I love that. I love the branching paths more so. They had them, like, kind of dwindled down and beyond, where it kind of funneled you out into, like, the Mass Effect 3, like, ending that everyone hated, where it was kind of like you have the good, bad, and, like, the in-between.
Right.
So, like, kind of pick from and choose from that, whereas Heavy Rain had 22 different endings in order to get the Platinum Trophy. Like, and that game could have ended drastically differently for everybody, like depending on who lived, who died. If you lived with these three characters, but you made a different decision with the fourth,
times and everything,
yeah, it was crazy. And that's why I think I appreciated Until Dawn a lot more, because they built on Heavy Rain's amazing branching storylines and branching paths, that genre style of game with exploring the environment and everything. But like I said, they had Hayden Panettiere, they had the kid from Mr. Robot, I'm forgetting his name, and like really big actors. Not saying that they need famous people, but I'm saying like give it to an actor that can act the part.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's my like final. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
I was actually before. I mean, if you want to say whatever, I was going to actually talk about Crash Bandicoot for a minute because I wanted to go.
Oh, I had one final kind of question for the Quantic Dream stuff.
Yeah.
They're still second party, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is like, what do you think about that? Like, do you think it's because Beyond was not really successful that Sony was like, all right, let's wait and see here. Maybe
they've only done Sony properties
recently. Indigo Prophecy was multi-platform.
Was it multi-platform? Yeah, but like their last few, including Detroit, has only been Sony based, and I feel like they do want that security.
They do, yeah.
But I think it's also a little bit they gear towards Sony. Just because we've talked about it before, they are more the story-centric, the drama-filled, type console in a way, that community. But
it definitely feels like a Sony game.
Right. Yeah. Everything feels
I feel like they're like the weird kid in school that wants to be friends with the popular kids, but like the popular kids are like, you kind of have to prove yourself to me, and then like not another teen movie happens, and they're gonna get a makeover with Detroit, and then Sony will be like, all right, guys, like you can come in.
That'd be nice. Yeah, I feel like Heavy Rain didn't do exactly what they wanted it to do. And I
Yeah.
feel like Beyond did way less than that, especially for the amount of money that they spent doing it.
Yeah.
So I feel like Detroit is. I actually am scared because I feel like Detroit's almost a make or break thing for them at this point. Like,
Yeah, I
feel
agree.
like
I think it is
Detroit
too, yeah.
isn't good. I feel like they're screwed, not for partnering with Sony, but even for furthering their studio.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be at least good. And that's what I
helpful.
feel like was so polarizing about Beyond, is that like it wasn't like no one, even me playing that game, like I loved the game personally, but that's what that game gave you. It was either you loved it or you hated it. There was no
Yeah.
good whenever I talked to anybody
The
about
thing
Beyond.
is, though, there's no real danger of, like, for Quantic Dream right now, it's not like a make or break situation because they're not first party. It's not like
Yeah.
like Sony's going to say, we're cutting you guys loose.
Yeah.
Quantic Dream is dead. It's just, it might be more of like a Ready at Dawn situation where it's like, okay, we're not going to make you first party. Feel free to develop your games. We're just not going to publish them.
What are they, the
And-
game Rhyme or something?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Quantic Dream clearly likes working with Sony, so I feel like that relationship will continue. Even if the game doesn't sell well or if it's not great, they won't become first party, but they want to develop their games with PlayStation because PlayStation's the experimental,
Yeah.
type studio or publisher, and it just makes sense. The two make sense together, even if they're not like permanent in their relationship yet. It still makes sense for them to work together in a second party capacity.
Also, in Insomniac, but we saw how that went.
Yeah. And go ahead, Mike. Just say we have about a minute left in this topic
Yeah,
here.
it's fine. Because I knew that the mail time was going to kind of bleed into it a little bit too. But I want to talk about Crash, man. That was a really exciting thing. I almost wanted to use that as my main talking point tonight, but I didn't think there was enough for it, in general. But the one thing I want to really latch on to is they're remaking it from the ground up. They said so. That means
That's
that
what
we're
they said,
getting
yeah.
like a Ratchet and Clank, game based off the movie, based off the game type situation happening where they're saying this is how the game was, let's try to follow this and let's just redo it, copy it. That's awesome to me. That's really cool. That means that we're going to see what Crash would be like now, in this day and age.
It's awesome, but that's the thing. Is like, what is Crash like now? Like, is it still going to be just running towards the screen and jumping over, pits and stuff, or are they going to bring it into like full 3-dimension? Like, I don't know what they're going to do.
Crash 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so that to me is actually still viable as a design choice in games today. I have no problem with that. Crash 1 would not, like, I did go back to it. I did play it a couple times. It didn't age. Heck, we all did, actually, on Uncharted 4. We all played it. And you're right, it didn't age very well. But when you look at Crash 3, Crash Warped, it actually plays pretty decently. And that was a few years ago. So if they do something like that for all 3 games, to where they follow a structure, but they modify it to fit, what would be okay currently, I think we have nothing to fear as far as it goes. I'm 100%.
I don't know. Like, I'm so like, it was cool, but I thought it was a pretty underwhelming announcement personally.
I agree.
I thought it was just like here they come out. They're going to announce that they're bringing Crash back. It's like back at Sony. They're going to be creating an entirely new Crash game. And it's like, we're just remaking, I guess I should say, the original 3. But Activision is still the ones doing it. And I don't, like, honestly, I think
And then they were like, he's also coming to Skylanders. I was like, I
Yeah.
think that was like the
We already
one.
knew that one.
I think what Sony was doing there was making the best of the situation because Activision's not going to give it back to them. So it's like, we're gonna we're gonna have Activision remake the original 3, but I bet you like it's not going to
Perform well.
succeed. Like, I don't think people are gonna really jump on it that much when
I
it
don't think
actually
it's
does
something-
release.
I don't
You
think
know
it's
what? I'll tell you right now, you
something
have
that
2
you'll latch
people that
on
buy
to.
it.
But yeah, I'm sure people will buy it. It'll sell. I just don't think it's going to be. It's definitely not going to be like the return of Crash, where you're going to continue getting Crash games after that. In my
I'm
opinion,
okay
right
with
now.
I think this is more like, here, shut the fuck up, we did it.
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah, I'm
exactly.
okay with that, though.
I feel like it was
Not
that
not
kind
like
of moment, yeah.
oh, we're gonna make Sly Cooper Thieves in Time after the remaster does really well. Like, I don't think that's
This is going to be a Twisted Metal situation where everybody's like, give me
Yeah.
Twisted Metal, give me Twisted Metal. And Sony's like, here you go. David
Yeah.
Jaffe's making Twisted Metal. And then it
True.
releases and it's like, oh, that's cool. I got other things I want to
Drew,
play,
I
though.
couldn't have said that better myself. That's exactly what I was thinking of. I just didn't know what game to compare it to. That's
Yeah,
exactly
it's
what
Twisted Metal. That's
that
what's
is
going to happen.
exactly
No, and I
what-
get that, and I agree in a way, but like it's something, it's better than the nothing that we've gotten. And to someone like myself, someone like obviously like Tim Geddes, who I'll tell you right now, that was the best fucking reaction I've ever seen for anything. That was better than any of the Final Fantasy reactions, I think. Just the way he jumped around, so that was great. But I think for people like us, who wanted it, I think this satiates the palate in the perfect way to where as long as
Good
it's
word.
giving me. It's a word. As long as it's as long as it's giving me, that modernized version of a classic that I love, that's all I need.
Right. Okay. We're getting close to the end here, so let's move on to our final mail time of the night.
Mail time.
This one, dear It Only Does PlayStation. Crash
Hi.
Bandicoot is finally coming. Do you think it'll actually be successful? And while we're on the subject, do you think PlayStation Neo will be successful? Well, we kind of answered the first part already. I think that it will sell decently. I just don't think it's going to be the second coming of Crash.
I
It's
would
just-
agree with that statement exactly as you said it.
Yeah, it's going
I'm okay with
to
that.
be a game that released.
As far as PlayStation Neo, what do we think, kids?
I don't know.
I think it's going to be very successful. I do.
Me too.
It's not necessarily what I want right now, but I think it's going to do very, very well.
I agree with that, and that second part, I agree with all of it.
Yeah, it's just it's
I
not.
liked all the stuff you said.
Here's the thing: it sounds like it's not the worst case scenario. It's not going to be this.
Yeah, I don't think it was as
huge
much
leap
of an
forward.
Armageddon as we like.
We
made
were-
it.
we
You
were
guys
concerned-
went to the extreme with it.
We were concerned that it was going to be a bigger jump than
Yeah.
it actually is. It seems like the Scorpio is more what we were fearing.
Yeah,
and PlayStation
honestly-
Neo is a little
Honestly,
better.
I did kept saying that, and I was trying to be level, and everybody was like, "No, this is the worst thing in the world." Even you three, you guys were really against it.
I'm not changing my opinion, Mike. I still
saying you
don't
should
want
do it.
this. I'm
I
saying I
thought-
think it's going to succeed. I don't want it. I think it's going to succeed. I think it's better than Scorpio because Scorpio is a true that's like a next generation jump. Like that is the
Yeah.
next Xbox. As opposed to Sony, who's already come out and said the PlayStation generation is still going to be 8 years long. PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Neo coexist. Every game will release on both. As opposed to Xbox, who's already said there is potential for Scorpio exclusive games. A completely different situation. So we're getting the better of the two.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
better.
I think it's going to be successful, like you said, and I think it's going to, I think more people are going to be comfortable with the, Sony's way of doing it. But I think the people, you got to remember too, Xbox culture is completely different now than it was on 360, even, and those are the people that are diehard dedicated, and they kind of are. I would imagine that they're a little bit more goofy with how they spend their money. Just from
Maybe.
the majority of people that swear by Xbox that I know, they're those types of people. My issue is that I feel like something like Scorpio needs to happen more consistently, but in the right way. I feel like it was stupid how they unveiled it, and it was just like, oh, by the way, we're doing this. And a lot of people were kind of like, I don't think we want, like developers especially, were like, I don't know if we want that yet. But I feel like, I've said it before, the way that technology advances, especially with what we're doing now, look at VR. We're trying to have VR to a machine that probably won't be able to handle it in the way that we would like it to. 4 or 5 years out of a console, that needs to be something that happens. Otherwise, we will never be able to see what games can progress to, versus PC.
Is there any chance you guys think that you'll be getting the Neo if it comes out this year?
Yeah.
If there's a themed console that I really need.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it
I
just
think if I
because-
come into a lot of money, like people like gift me Christmas
Yeah.
money or buy from me for Christmas, I'll be like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. I'm not going to turn it down. I don't think I would go out of my way to get one.
Yeah, same.
But
I'm more focused personally on getting a VR over the Neo.
yeah, I would agree with that. I would be more focused
See,
on getting
I'm
the VR.
still concerned. I really do feel like the best way to have VR is going to be through the Neo. I feel like
Oh, yeah, sure, but
side of it are going.
I'm not getting both, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
not
I
saying
mean.
you are,
Yeah.
but that's why I'm looking to get the Neo before I get the VR, just because of that reason.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing stopping you from getting Neo after VR and then
Oh,
having
yeah.
it perform better later on. I would be more focused on at least if I get VR now, I can play it immediately. Even if
Yeah.
it doesn't perform as well on Neo, I have it. It plays on PlayStation 4, and then down the road, if I come into some more money, I can be like, all right, now I'll get Neo and I can play it in a better way.
Drew, I feel
So,
like you're in my brain tonight. Like everything
Yeah.
you're saying is like what I'm thinking.
it's awesome, man.
It's freaking
awesome.
me out.
Thank you. That was from I think Mr. Bonus Shot, who
That's a fun name.
was a longtime viewer back in the day, who left us for a long time and found us again last night through reruns.
That's
That's
amazing.
funny.
So welcome back, Mr. Bonus Shot. I know he's not watching right now, but it was cool to have you back, and thank you for your question. And that is going to be it for us tonight, guys. Only 3 topics, unfortunately, because Dean could not join us. Hopefully, Dean will join us next month, and It Only Does PlayStation episode 11. If you guys didn't know, the Level Up Network is on all week long with gaming talk shows and game streams.
Indeed.
So follow us right now. Hit that
Yes.
heart button at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. We will shout you out. You'll get notifications whenever we go live. And yeah, check out all the other channels as well. I got Facebook at the top of the screen right now. Twitter is real important. Tweet at us with hashtag IODP at the Level Up Network, level spelled LVL, if you want to try and be a featured question on next month's show. Patreon is a great way to support the network if you want to do monthly donations at patreon.com/The Level Up Network. If you'd rather do a singular donation, We would love that. We actually are really pushing that right now because we would love to get to our donation goal of a new desktop computer to improve the quality of everything that we do here on the Level Up Network. So just go to levelupnetwork.com/donate like Mel did tonight, the Miss Mel.
Awesome.
She donated $10, which was amazing. Thank you so much, Mel.
Please.
Hello, please. That was super cool. Thank you so much, Mel. Another one, NeoGaf, of course. Let's shout out again. We have an official topic there now. Oh. This was in case Dean did come, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to stop it from running. Just to tease you guys, we were going to talk about Spider-Man for Dean, but it's not going to happen. I'm sorry, guys.
Womp.
Womp, womp, womp. As I was saying, NeoGaf, we have an official topic there now. Please post if you haven't already. If you're a member, try and join. It's a great site for the gaming community, and you can use our official topic to post about the Level Up Network, to post about games in general, to share your favorite clips and moments from our shows, anything you can think of. Use our NeoGaf topic for that. And am I missing anything?
SoundCloud.
I was told that people actually listen to our podcast, so maybe you guys should too. So please go to soundcloud.com/levelupnetwork, and you can listen to audio versions of all of our shows for your time on the road, or maybe while you're at work, whatever you want to do.
Also, we did hit 30 people tonight, so I do want to thank you guys for getting us to 30 people, which was really, really cool of you to do. We always appreciate you guys sharing the show. That's always such an awesome thing, especially with all the success that we've had on YouTube. I just want to say thank you again for that, because I'm reading a lot of the comments, and everybody, new, old, whatever, all the comments are just so genuinely loving, and I really appreciate it. I've read every comment out of all the thousands of views we've gotten on the videos, and I appreciate you all for watching them.
And that'll be it for us tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate every single one of you. Love you all. I think as far as the rest of the week goes, we only have our Sunday show left, which is the Level Up Show, episode 127. It'll be starting a little bit late this week because Game of Thrones is a long episode, so keep that in mind. It'll probably be around 10:20 or so that we start.
Stay tuned to our YouTube channel for tomorrow. Mike is revealing his Game of Show from E3, and that'll wrap up our E3 hype.
Yep, that's pretty much the end of our E3 videos. That'll be the last one, I think. Thank you again, guys, for watching. We'll catch you on Sunday with the Level Up Show, episode 127. We'll end It Only Does PlayStation as we always do.
Yes, I was going to say, if you don't remember it, I'm going to
2, 1, PlayStation. So long, guys.
Love you all.
Bye-bye.
You're the best.
Hey, Level Uppers. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you want to check out our other content, please do.
Like your favorite superhero podcast, Power Up, right here.
Or for everything PlayStation, It Only Does PlayStation right there.
For movies, television, and Netflix, check out the Lights Up Show down this way.
And for the latest episode of our gaming talk show, The Level Up Show, go right there. But most importantly, please don't forget to subscribe right there.
Nailed it.
We did it.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was good.
Which one do you think they'll click on?
I think Level Up Show,
Probably.
obviously.
Hopefully, all of
It
them.
Only Does
Yeah,
PlayStation.
I would like if they watched them all, I think.
That would be
Lights
cool.
Up is new, though. I think they should definitely check that out.
Lights Up's a new one. Power Up's
We're
always a
running
new one.
about 7-8 seconds now.
Yeah.
We're
Well, you think they've clicked on something?
we're still here, so no.
I think they should.
We should
Did you
give
click
them a little
on?
bit
Did you
more.
click on something?
Click on something, guys.
We need to go.
The hell are you?
I'm going to give it
waiting
3
for?
seconds.
Watch
We have
all
things
of
to
that.
do.
3,
Just click.
Stare them
Two.
down. Stare them down until they do it.
1.
Ah!